So the first part of Define Yourself is called Know Your Story. What we're trying to do here is to build self-knowledge and find out what it is that can set you apart from other candidates. What is it that makes you the best choice? This is important because if you don't know this yourself, it's unlikely that an interviewer will find it. So the first thing that you need to do is to assemble all your data. You can begin by listing strengths and weaknesses. Take some time over this, be rigorous, and as you do it, be aware that often your weaknesses are your strengths being overplayed. Let me explain what I mean by that. Somebody who's not afraid of confrontation could often come across as being a bit confrontational. Somebody who's a confident communicator might come across as being a bit arrogant. If you can look at your strengths and weaknesses in this way, it can often give you certain insights into when you're at your best and where small changes can make you even better. When you've done this, next make a list of experiences. Go from big to small. Chapters in your career, big initiatives, projects you delivered, deals done, presentation given, training that you've completed, so that you can get a comprehensive picture of your experience from a few different dimensions like technical, commercial, management or leadership. Then you can add to your list of experiences by thinking about what you've learned along the way. And as for the strengths and weaknesses, take your time with this. Learnings can come in several different forms and can be quite subtle. For example, you might consider that you've learned more about handling difficult conversations with members of staff. It's important for both your self-knowledge and indeed your self-confidence that you're thorough here. Often we forget to look back and see just how far we've come. Next, you're going to look at decisions that you've made. Reviewing decisions can provide a lot of insight into who you are and how you think. These decisions, they could be about the direction of your career, they could be about key commercial decisions, or they could be decisions that were about appointments of team members. But for all of them, try to recall the situation, how you looked at the alternatives, the decision that you made, and the result, and see what you can add to the list of experiences and learnings that you've made already. The last thing to do in this data assembly is to look at reports. Are there appraisals or 360-degree feedback reports that you've received from colleagues or bosses? These are important because inevitably there's a gap between how we perceive ourselves and how we're perceived by others. When you've got all of that together, you're going to have a good assembly of information, and you can use this collection of data to examine yourself and to learn more about roles that will be a good fit for you and characteristics that may give you an advantage over other candidates. And you can ask yourself a number of questions. Do you see any particular themes through your history? Can you identify situations where you feel you were doing your very best work? Can you see what was different when you were less effective? What can you say about how you think best? How do you communicate? What sort of situations inspire you to do more, and what drains you of strength? People are all different, and some thrive on encouragement and others are driven on by criticism. So at the end of all this, the aim is to draw some conclusions about who you are and what you are better at than your peer group. Everyone has something, and you must find out what is yours. Two tips here. One is give this the time that it deserves. It's not that easy. It takes a while to build self-knowledge, and your differentiators may be quite particular or subtle, or likely to be an advantage that comes from a combination of traits and isn't just one thing. The second tip is that you can make this process easier by keeping a learning log. By this I mean a written record of all your self-discoveries. It doesn't need to be something that you only do when you're looking to change jobs. You can actually add to the learning log all the time. I've done this myself over a number of years, adding information to a document after big career experiences or courses I've done, and even books that I've read. And if you do this, you can gain from the process of building self-knowledge continually, and it makes it much easier to know your story when you're coming to make the next career move.